Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Maryland PTAC webinar. Today, the topic is procurement opportunities in Baltimore County. And it is my pleasure to have the following speakers who are going to be presenting to you today. We will have Carla Tucker, who is the Minority, Disadvantaged and Small Business Programs Manager at Baltimore County, Maryland Diversity, Equity and Inclusion. Then we will go on and hear from Bob Ball, who is the MBE Outreach Liaison at Baltimore County Public Schools. And last but not least, we will finish with Craig Panos, who is the business consultant at the Maryland Small Business Development Center based out in Baltimore. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. You can type out your questions in the chat box that you're on your screen. Feel free to type out questions as you think of them, and we will pause at the end of each presentation to do some Q&A and also do some Q&A at the end as well. We are offering live transcription, so if you would like me to turn this feature on, please request it in the chat box. A copy of the slides will be emailed to you after the presentation. And of course, I do have to let you know that this webinar is being recorded, and the replay will be available on the PTAC website and YouTube channel later today. A little bit about the PTAC, for those of you who may not be familiar with us. It is our mission to help Maryland-based businesses fully compete in federal, state, and local government procurement processes. We offer individualized counseling and group training, and our services are at no cost to the business owner. And of course, they are completely confidential. The only requirements we have is that your business must be in Maryland and it must have been established for at least a year. Last year, well, FY20, we helped businesses in Maryland win over $92 million worth of contract awards. And so we are definitely proactive in helping the small business community to become successful contractors. So if you want to get into government contracting, or you're already in contracting and you just want some further advice, please do go ahead and register on our website, mdptac.org. And of course, you can connect with us socially. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and have our first speaker. Let's see, I don't know if Carla is in here. Yes, she has joined us. But while Carla is setting up, Bob, would you mind starting us off?
Let me unmute and I'll be glad to.
Okay, so this will be Bob Ball, and he's the MBE Outreach Liaison at Baltimore County Public Schools. So we've switched speakers around in the agenda slightly so that Carla can get prepared. So you can go ahead and share your screen, Bob.
All right, let me go ahead and do that. Come on. Share it. And let's show. All right, good morning, folks. Baltimore County Public Schools is separate from Baltimore County government. We buy and do enough business that we have our own complete business office and setup here. So my position, I work in the purchasing office because every contract that we put out does have a participation goal with either minority or minority and small business enterprises. When we have, and just to give you the detail, when we have a contract and that would be construction where the state is funding, then we do use the state's rules completely. They only recognize MBE, so there are no small business. If it's a contract for any kind of other services or goods that is Baltimore County government and schools funded, we also recognize small business. So that could be you. If you're the bidder and you're looking for subs, that's going to open up your subcontractor pool significantly, I would think. So let me move on and let me just start talking here.
Hi, Bob. Sorry to interrupt. Could you just put
Yeah.
put your presentation in slideshow mode just to make it easier for everybody to see, please?
Put it in slideshow. So this is not showing?
No, if you we can see it, but if you can put it in, if you go up to the top where it says slideshow, then we'll be able to see the full screen, because right now it's a bit difficult to see.
Oh,
there you go. And then just put from current slide over on the far left.
yeah. Okay, so is that coming out better now?
No, it didn't go. It didn't work. Don't worry. You can continue. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay. Let me make a comment, because I put there how to partner with a K-12 district. We all work a bit differently. So if you listen to me and you want to go to Anne Arundel County, go there and talk to some people and contact their purchasing office and find out how they do business, because there'll be some differences, even on things like state contracts. So, okay, let me just make a quick comment here. This is not for bragging. This is to say that we're pretty large, which gives us some goods and bads. We've got 200 schools and offices, and we have 113,000 students. So with the 200 locations, it means that there's some things that we're going to do, and we don't really want outside help. Things like housekeeping. When you have this many locations, you have a pretty good sized housekeeping staff, and they're assigned to the schools and they take care of it. So, because often I go to events and people come up and say, look, I do cleaning and I live right near this elementary school, and I'd like, well, we are already cleaning it. The one thing that you may want to consider, and I'll talk about that possibly later if you want, when we're through with construction, we do need the building to be clean, post-construction cleaning. So that means you've got to be prepared to mobilize probably 3 or 4 dozen, ideally, people to go through that building on a weekend. On a Friday and a Saturday and Sunday, you've got to clean a whole school from top to bottom. And that means a lot of cleaning and dusting. So that's just one of the things to give you an idea. We have a pretty good sized IT department. However, I will say we do use outside subcontractors for specific types of work where we could use the outside expertise. We have a guy who came in here to design some SharePoint screens for us, I think 6 years ago, and he still works here because that kind of thing grows. So the other thing with 113,000 students, we have a lot of variety of things. So don't give up hope. We probably are buying something that you might be selling. And that's a pretty good sized budget. 75% of it goes to salaries for teachers and staff, but there's still a lot of buying goes on. All right, let me just make an overall comment. Understand the school system. In other words, make sure you know how Baltimore County does it. There's 24 of us, which is 23 counties and Baltimore City. So get to know, the school system themselves. And look, if you ever are trying and you just don't know who to call, I have a counterpart in most of these places that I can probably put you on to, and they'll help you. My position in the purchasing office is to deal with minority and small businesses. That's what I do. So I'm happy to take your calls and to talk to you anytime. And there are others like me. Okay. Identify the areas of need, understand what we're doing, all the pluses there. Ask a lot of questions. clarify when, the product can be used and what product goals and what office is a natural fit. There could be more than one. Your particular product, service might be best that you go right to a school and contact the principal. If you provide a service that will train and help students learn how to handle money, we have that. And the principal may set something up like that. So look around. Okay, I'm just going to mention a couple of things here that you ought to know about. Hopefully you all know about eMaryland Marketplace. eMaryland Marketplace is a place that you should be registered so that if the state of Maryland or a participating county, that's all of us, is advertising a project, a solicitation, you want to be notified, and eMaryland Marketplace will do that. If you have any questions about this, go right there, and they've got some people that are really good at helping you out. All right. We're going to want you to register with us, BCPS. And under that line there, if you hover over it, and you'll get all these slides, you'll see that it's a much longer URL that you'll click on. This will put you into our system. The reason for getting into our system here is so you can get paid. At the moment, it is not going to put you on any vendor list other than the accounting vendor list. In the future, the people supplying our accounting software are threatening to make it more useful, and we'll be able to notify you about things. Okay. One other thing is pre-qualification with Baltimore County Department of Public Works, and they are for trade vendors, mainly for construction. If you are a small minority or small business contractor in plumbing, in electrical work, in site work, in roofing, things of that nature, you need to be pre-qualified with Baltimore County Department of Public Works. So I just throw that in. These are some things to think about, all right? Okay, what I'm going to get into in just a second here now are where to look for what we're using now and what we are buying. The first is called our contracts database, and I'm going to show you how to get into that. The next is what we're soliciting at the moment, and that's our invitation to bid. It will list all of the contracts that are on the street at the current moment. When they close and the solicitations, the bids are taken in, then it'll be removed from there. So these are the current bids that are out there. The contracts database, you'll see, and I'll show it to you, is what we have under contract now. Anything that we buy that causes us to spend over $25,000, and that's changing to 50, but it's still basically $25,000 in a year. And that could be for the product, because maybe we use it in multiple schools, or one school might buy something and they spent $40,000 on this thing last year, this service, whatever it is. We have to put it out to bid. It's, the rules. Did I tell you we're a government agency? So keep that in mind. So let's move on to these two sources of information for you. These are public. What you see right now is what you will see if you put in to your Internet Explorer or whichever one you're using.
Hi,
and you
Bob.
put in, yeah.
Hi, Bob. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to go ahead and share your presentation because although you can see the slides, we cannot see the slides you're talking about, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. We can hear you great and the information is fantastic, but we just can't see it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up your presentation and then you can just direct me from there if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Thank you. Okay.
All right. I
All
wonder
right,
why
so
that-
you just tell me where in the presentation, should I go forwards or backwards?
Let's go back a couple of slides so I can just tell people what they were looking at. Go back. Yeah, there you go. That was the vendor registration that I was talking about. And I actually updated this slide, but you don't have it, and I will be glad to send it with the URLs for eMaryland Marketplace and BCPS. So they are two places that you should register. Okay, next slide there. We'll be on there. Okay, this is what I was talking about. We have, and these are two public information sites. Our people actually go to the contracts database if they want to find out what vendors we have under contract. If they're buying printed T-shirts, or if they're buying musical instruments for their music department, we have those things under contract. So they would go to this same place to find out who to contact. Okay, so move to the next slide if you would. All right, now www.bcps.org. That's us. And this is the screen you will find. And you notice that I have community highlighted. There's a lot of good stuff on there, but this is the one place where they talk about business. There's a million pictures of cute kids smiling, but the word business is a tough thing to find on our website. So right here, but go down, see the third one, Office of Purchasing. Okay, that'll give you the access to what I want to show you. All right, next slide there, Yasmin. Okay, this is the Purchasing Office webpage. Notice on the left, the menu. First one is the contract database, contract information. Halfway down, invitation to bid. And then further down, there are vendors. If you go to any one of those three, and there may be stuff on the other one, so go to this site and nose around. You may find some information. So let's move to the next one. I'm going to go right to the contract information database. All right, you'll see this screen. You'll click on current contracts. All right, let's move on, Yasmin. All right, this is what the contract database looks like. You notice that there's a good bit of information, and there's even some that didn't get carried over to the right. Okay, the most important thing for you to notice is the contract number. That first one is Ashley Sibley, and it was in hers. She does the 800 number she uses. So it was her contract 811-22. And the next is the name of the contract, describes it briefly. And the contracts that are in force, there will be a list there of the bidders. Okay. And what's going to be important to you, because if you look at a contract and you find something, that's me, that's what I want. Well, you want to look at when the contract expires. This first one doesn't expire until February of 27. It has really just gone into effect. It's a 5-year contract, so it's going to be around for a while. All right. Now, one of the things that, if appropriate, and you got to think about this stuff, if a contract is appropriate for you to be on as a subcontractor, because remember, we've asked every one of these people to commit to subcontract, typically 15%, sometimes higher or lower, of their work to a either small or minority company. So if you are looking for people to be your prospect list, I'd like to work for them. I do that kind of work. If they need a sub, I'm good. And so these are the kinds of places that you can look, and you can go down that award bidders list and say, I'm going to call those people and see, who knows? Maybe they had a couple people that stopped being able to supply them. And, so this could be useful to you. All right. This would be the contracts database, everything, I'll say it again, that is in force now. Up at the top, you see that little funnel looking thing that says filter right there on in the tabs. That filter will allow you to focus in and sort so you don't have to go. I think there's 380 pages on this thing here. So let's go to the next slide there, Yasmin, please. There you go. This would be what you'd see, and you could create a new filter. I'll just spend a second because you'll want to go and play with this, and I'll say it again. Listen, I'm the Maytag repairman. I'm sitting there waiting for my phone to ring. So if you have questions when you get into this, call me. You know, I'm there. But if you put this, you put down and choose, I'm going to filter on the contract name, and then over there where it says enter a value, you can type in whatever you have. You know, that's a free form. IT, communications, cleaning, whatever. Just put in some words and do some sorting there and some searching, all right, to see if there's a contract in there that has something that you'd like to look at and follow up on. Okay, next slide, please, Yasmin. All right, I'm back to our purchasing screen there. And once again, you could, you know, you're gonna look, move on one more, please, Yasmin. There you go. This is our invitation to bid screen. This is what is, as of yesterday afternoon, this is what is out to bid right now. Custodial cleaning supplies, pre-K curriculum service. So you can see what all those services, they are the contracts that are out for bid right now. And I'll call your attention mainly to the right side, and you notice what it says, if you want bid documents. So if you decide you want to follow up on any one of these, you click on that and you'll find out, if you look at those things, the URL is the same for all of them, because it's going to take you to an online place for you to sign in. Next screen, please, Yasmin. And this is what it will look like. So if you're looking for a solicitation document, you want to get the documents, and feel free, even if you're looking to be a sub, you might want to learn what it is that we're buying. This is the place where you'll get it. You notice up there, provide the date of your request. Okay. And then the bid number. That's where you want to, on that screen before it, you want to take note of. If you want ASI 811-22, you put that in there. Okay. The rest of it, I think you can complete and you can submit it. And Nicole will send you the documents, and you can follow up on that in whatever way is appropriate for you. All right, let's move one more screen now, Yasmin. There you go. Okay, let me talk a little bit about purchasing and how we do contracts. I don't want to belabor this, but let me let you know a little bit. Next slide, please. Okay, these are purchasing levels just to give you an idea of what we do. A small purchase is up to $2,000, and we will, under $2,000, whether it's a clerk or an administrator or a principal or a teacher in a school or someone in an office, they have P cards, procurement cards, and they can buy things off of the contract list. They find out who's selling, they contact them, and they can purchase whatever they're looking for. Medium purchases, $2,000 to $49,900 or $50,000. They will get a quote from someone. Again, they're going to be looking for someone who is on the contract list, but they're going to have to put in a purchase order request. Okay, and the large purchases over $50,000, we're going to put out a solicitation. You're going to find it on that invitation to bid. Okay, we do piggyback on cooperative or other area contracts, and some of our contracts. We award them and we tell people that we're going to make this available. We buy this product and Anne Arundel County wants to buy it. They're not going to spend the effort to put it out to bid. They're going to use our contract. So getting on our award list is very important on something like this, because there may be other people that are going to call you. All right, next slide, please, Yasmin. Okay, this is our solicitation process, and this is just information, okay? Learn about this, look on the invitation to bid and learn about the solicitation and obtain a copy, all right? Attend the pre-bid meeting. There are pre-bid meetings for about 95% of all of our solicitations. One of the things you will do is to get on the attendees list, which will then get shared with everyone who is bidding. So even if you're coming in as a subcontractor, feel free to attend the pre-bid meeting. You might learn something. You might get the names of some people to call and say, these people were at the meeting. When we have meetings in person, and I hope that comes back fairly soon, people, small and minority companies would come to those meetings and walk around handing out business cards. So this will be your way to hand out business cards. All right, take a look at what the MBE, SBE, and that's WBE goals are, and that you'll get from the bid documents. All right, review the proposals from prior solicitations. To get that, you have to go to our website and look for the PIA request. It's available and you can get it, but we don't make it available just on a site somewhere. You have to ask for it, and that's fine. It might be good for you if you're interested in a bid, even if this one's not going to come up till next year. Find out what we were asking for. Find out if there are any prerequisites that you need to go. You need to go here and get certified or get on these people's list. If it's construction, you might need to go out there to DPW, Baltimore County, and get listed. So this will give you a heads up to do that before, so you don't get aced out of the bid process because, I could have done that. All right. What's your product? Think of those kinds of things. And one last thing, if you bid, always understand that you're entitled, and we're glad actually to give you a debrief of why you were not awarded. All right. You want to know. You didn't meet all these qualifications. You're too small, you this, you that, whatever it be. We will definitely give you some information so you can grow. And next time, you come around and you qualify. All right. Next slide, please, Yasmin. Okay, we do need bonding and insurance. We have bid bonds, we have protest bonds, we have payment bonds, performance bonds. All right. So take a look at what is required. If, for example, you are a trucking company and you want to work with the site contractor on a new construction job, you won't have to be bonded. You will have a certain level of insurance that you'll work out with them, but the site bidder awardee will be the one holding the bonds. So all I'm saying is there are different requirements. Ask about them, all right? Insurance requirements, the same way. And we don't need all of these, even if you would be needed. You don't need them when you're bidding, all right? Insurance, you're going to be asked you're an award bidder, you may be the one or one of a few. Then our contract people will contact you and say, okay, here's what we need. Your insurance, we need you to sign this contract, that type of information. Okay. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. Payments. Let me just give you the overall, and I won't belabor this, but we require invoices from you, and they must be submitted to the account manager, who is really the on-site person. That may be the project manager or the construction manager on a construction job. That may be the principal at a school where you are either performing a service or shipping some kind of. They are the first line for approving your invoice and saying, yep, they did it, and then they pass it on, right? Our standard terms are net 30. We pay upon delivery. That's important because periodically we get requests. I need a deposit up front. I need you to pay up front. No, BCPS just doesn't do business that way. So if that's important to you, talk to us, okay? You know, there are ways around some things to handle the specific need, right? Continuous services, maybe you have something where you come in every month, and that would be good. The one thing I will tell you is this: we are government. By the time your invoice gets approved at the local level, the school, and then gets sent on for payment, it may be 45 days. If your business can't handle a 45 to 50 day float, you got to think carefully about doing business with a government agency. All right. All right. Next slide, please. There you go. I'm going to ask if you have any questions, and I'm going to tell you that for the future, you can get to us, BCPS Purchasing. That is a purchasing office mailbox. There's an SBE/MBE at BCPS. I read that mailbox, but feel free, please, because I'll definitely see rball@bcps.org, and that'll come right to me. So that's a good one for you, right? The last thing does have a URL under it, and what it will bring up for you is a booklet and we used to hand it out in a printed form when we were going in person, and it's got a lot of the details and information for how to do business with us. That's our little guide. It's about 15 pages or so. All right, next slide, please, Yasmin. Okay, what happened? I think that's it.
Yeah, that looks like that's the end of your presentation, Bob. Thank you very much for that. Very thorough. So yeah, now's your opportunity to ask Bob your questions. You can type them in the chat box. I'm scrolling through. I don't see any questions from earlier on. Okay, there's one that says, as a janitorial company, do I need to be pre-qualified?
No, there's not a pre-qualification. As a janitorial company, to be perfectly honest, there's very little opportunity for you to work in our buildings. We have probably, I'm going to say, somewhere about 700 or 800 people in our housekeeping department, because there's at least one supervisor and 3, 4, maybe 8, depending on the size of the building, people who are assigned to it. So that's one of those areas where we're covered. And that's a downside of being as large as we are. Listen, if you want to clean some buildings, look up some of the smaller school systems. You know, we have 200 buildings. Out in Garrett County, they probably only have a dozen buildings, schools. You know, Eastern Shore. I know Queen Anne's County, I believe, is one that has somewhere about 8 or 10 buildings. That's it. So, and if you're not in your area, but if you do something like IT or other services, the smaller school systems will be more likely to use outside people than we do because, you know, our size. So the biggest thing, again, I'll remind you, is post-construction cleaning. And that's a contract that gets given out. So if that's something you want more on, I'll stop talking here, but call me. And you know what, before we're done, in fact, let me do it right now. I should have put it in there. Jot down a phone number, because I'll be glad to take your phone call. It doesn't have to come through email. And my phone number is 443-809. Now that's BCPS, and we all have extensions. So 443-809, and my extension directly is 9390. So 443-809-9390. All right. So write that down. Okay.
Thanks, Bob. I've posted that in the chat. So we'll do one more question and then we'll move on to the next presenter. Okay. What is the average turnaround time for PIA requests?
I don't have a good answer for that. It's not long, okay? That we're not talking weeks and months, but it could take a week because they go through it. To be honest with you, a PIA request goes to our law office, and they contact the department, and that department says, "Oh, I need about an hour or a half hour, or 20 minutes to put that together," and they'll get it to you pretty quick. You get that in days.
All right, thank you so much, Bob. Very informative. And if we have time at the end of the presentation, we'll go back to some of the questions that have not been answered yet.
Okay.
So Carla, are you available to, are you able to unmute yourself and share your screen, please?
I'm attempting to share my screen as we speak.
Okay, your volume is very low, Carla.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I might need to change the setting here. That's what I was trying to find while you were while Bob was presenting. Good morning, everyone. So forgive me for a little bit of a delay here. I am here. And I am attempting, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me now.
We can, but it's quite low. So I guess if you could move closer to your microphone, that might help.
Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can't see, you need to share your screen. We can see your video. So if you just click share screen at the bottom of your screen and open up your PowerPoint.
PowerPoint is open, but share screen is not there. Hold on. I think I need to change my view. Hold on. Okay, share screen, PowerPoint. Can you see the PowerPoint?
No, we can't. What you could do, Carla, is email me your PowerPoint.
I have it.
Oh, there you go. It's starting to show. I'll let you know when we can see it. Okay, we can see it. If you could put it in slideshow mode, then we'll be good to go. That's in presenter mode. Can you put it in slideshow mode for me?
I thought that was slideshow.
Yeah, it's showing, that's the presenter's view. So we can't see it very clearly. It's probably a display setting issue.
Is that better?
No, it hasn't changed. Try turning a couple of slides. Let's have a look.
Yes, no?
Yes, that works. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. My name is Carla Tucker. I am the Minority, Women, Disadvantaged, and Small Business Programs Manager for Baltimore County Government. And I can make this presentation available to Jasmine after the presentation today if you would like. But with that, I'm going to move forward and talk about doing business with Baltimore County, a little bit of overview of Baltimore County and then what my office does. So Baltimore County operates, we do have an executive order for minority and women business utilization. The executive order that we are operating from currently was established in 2017-03. I'm sorry, Executive Order 2017-003. With this executive order, we are required to establish solicitation goals and contracts. And in order for a prime contractor to fulfill the solicitation goal requirement, they must utilize a firm that's certified by Maryland Department of Transportation or the City of Baltimore. And the county is required to, all county officers and departments are asked to make a good faith effort to utilize all minority, women, and small businesses in their processes. I've already mentioned the two certification arms that we utilize in Baltimore County. So if there's a subcontract goal and a solicitation, Contractors must be certified by Maryland Department of Transportation or the City of Baltimore. The only exception would be if a prime is trying to count their workforce in that subcontracting area, they're allowed to count up to 50% of the goal utilizing their own workforce. Therefore, the certification is not required for the prime. What does Baltimore County buy? Baltimore County buys pretty much everything. Recreational products, athletic equipment, landscaping services. I heard janitorial services, Bob mentioned a little earlier. Construction services, printing services, telecommunications, counseling services. We actually buy the flu shot. We actually buy architect and engineering services and other personal items for the detention center. There's commissary services, which is food services for our offenders. And then there's engineering and other products. That actually is advertised through our purchasing division in Baltimore County. Under the purchasing division, pre-qualification that Bob mentioned is not required for the purchasing division. So if you're a construction company and you want to do business with Baltimore County, you want to look at the purchasing division as well to do business with Baltimore County. Contract forecast. We actually have a list of the county's current master agreements available on the purchasing webpage that you can download at your leisure. It's available utilizing this link, baltimorecounty.md.gov/purchasing. It lets you know what the current contracts are in place. It tells you who the current contract holder is. It tells you what it is that we purchased, as well as the buyer for that procurement and the expiration date of the current term, and also the expiration date of the final term of that contract. Why is that important? We utilize this as a contract forecast. So if you know that this contract is going to expire in 2023, then you have some time to prepare, get yourself prepared for that upcoming procurement. You can ask the buyer questions about the procurement in that time frame. So the contract forecast is something that you may want to pay close attention to see when your opportunities may be coming forward. These forecast is only for the general government. It does not include Baltimore County Public Schools. It does not include Baltimore County Library, and it does not include the Community College of Baltimore County. Most people I find, or some people I find, are not aware of the different types of procurements that are done. So there are procurement methods that are utilized, and are utilized a little differently. So request for quote, typically we're required to have three quotes. They can come in as a fax quote. However, Baltimore County advertises on its website request for quotes which are procurements between $5,000 and $25,000. They also advertise requests for bids and requests for proposals. The request for bid and request for proposal process, they are more formalized procurements, which means it must be in writing. We advertise in writing, your responses are in writing, and then they're evaluated. And the county also utilizes email and marketplace, which is the state of Maryland's e-procurement tool. The way the county uses it is we actually put a notice on email and marketplace that directs you to come back to the county's website that you saw on the previous slide, and it's also listed here, baltimorecounty.md.gov/purchasing. When you come back to the county's website, you will go to current solicitations to find those opportunities that you're looking for. The Department of Public Works has its own purchasing component as well. They actually purchase capital construction projects, so your infrastructure, your roads, new building construction, those things come out of the Department of Public Works, as well as professional services. And in this case, professional services for the Department of Public Works is limited to architect and engineering services. Under these contracts, you must be pre-qualified with the Department of Public Works in order to do business with that agency in Baltimore County, which currently is an application process. It's a paper application process, but the county is moving to an automated application process. So stay tuned on that application to be made electronic soon. Again, request for quote. The dollar threshold is $5,000 to $25,000, and the award is made to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. What that means is we've asked for something, you have told us that you can provide it, and you also have the lowest price. So that's lowest responsive and responsible bidder. There's no deviation from what the county has requested. As a courtesy, we advertise requests for quotes on the county's website. As we realize, some businesses may be smaller than others, and they may not be able to bid on a request for bid or request for proposal. So this is an opportunity to participate in Baltimore County's procurement process at a lower dollar threshold, potentially. Request for bid, as I mentioned previously, this is a formal bid. It's written. There's a due date and time for which the bids are due, and the bids must be open publicly. With these particular bids, Bob mentioned pre-bid, pre-proposal conference, and I'll get into that a little bit shortly. But the pre-bid, pre-proposal notice will be listed in the bid. The bid package will also tell you where questions and answers should be submitted to. There may be a deadline for questions and answers. Please don't ask questions after the deadline. You will not get your responses. And also, please ask your questions to the person that's specified in that bid package. No one else is allowed to answer those questions. If someone else tries to answer those questions and you respond based on what someone else told you other than the person that was in the bid, you may not have the accurate information and your bid could potentially be thrown out. So please direct the questions accordingly. And again, with a request for bid, there's a public bid opening. So when the bids are open, currently we're doing virtual bid opening. So it would be on a WebEx meeting. You can be present to see who responded to the bid. And that is also awarded to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. Request for proposals, dollar threshold tends to exceed $25,000. The difference between a bid and a proposal is the evaluation process. In a proposal process, it is awarded on the best technical proposal. So in other words, Baltimore County may have a situation that they need an answer to. They are asking the business community to tell us a solution. So you are to give us your best solution. That is then evaluated. Once that is evaluated, then prices are reviewed. And then they shortlist, before the prices are reviewed, they shortlist or they come up with the most responsible offerers that provided proposals before the prices are reviewed. And then you may also be asked to come in for oral interviews, so you can present and answer any questions that the evaluation committee may have before they actually score. So in the proposal process, there's a scoring of the technical responses as well as a scoring of the price proposal. Another difference between a proposal and a bid process, in the proposal process, the pricing can be negotiated. So the buyer or the procurement officer may request to try to negotiate the prices. They may try to negotiate the technical response. Can you offer this instead of that? And it allows you in the oral presentations to make clarifications and begin the negotiations with the procurement staff and the evaluation committee as well. The award and the request for proposals is a best value to the county. It is not driven by price. It's the best solution for the county's problem. They do negotiate the price, however, to get the best price for the county, but it's the technical solution that has the most weight in the proposal process. Okay, so my area is the Minority Women Disadvantaged Small Business Program area. And in the Minority Women Disadvantaged, there are subcontract goals that we set in solicitations. All solicitations over $25,000 come across my desk for review to see if subcontracting goals can be assigned. We set subcontract goals on a contract by contract basis, which means not every solicitation will have a goal. We may not set it on certain dollar thresholds depending on the contract. We won't set it if it's a commodity because there is really no opportunity to set a goal on a commodity. So we actually have to review those solicitations before they're advertised on the county's website to see if a subcontract goal is feasible. And then depending on the fund source, what goal will be assigned. So if it's Baltimore County operating funds, you'll see minority business or minority women business enterprise goals. If it's federal transportation funds, you'll see disadvantaged business enterprise. If it's housing and urban development funds that are utilized coming from the federal government, you may also see a minority or women business enterprise goal under the Section 3 program of HUD. So in other words, follow the money. So depending on what the grant to Baltimore County says, that's the subcontract requirements that we actually assess on the solicitation. So when there's a MBE, I'm going to use the acronym for MBE WBE for minority and women, and I'm going to use the acronym DBE for disadvantaged business enterprise. So for MBE WBE contract goals, we are looking for firms that are certified by Maryland Department of Transportation or the City of Baltimore. So if you're bidding as a prime and you need to fulfill that subcontract goal, then you need to seek the participation of a firm that's certified by Maryland Department of Transportation or Baltimore City. The firm must be a commercially useful function of the contract. So if it's a construction project, please don't notify us if you hired a florist, because we may not be looking for a florist in a construction project. And I use that as an example because that actually was submitted to us. And so, of course, that bid had to be rejected because flowers were not a commercially useful function of a road project. Disadvantaged business enterprise, DBE goal. Disadvantaged business enterprises are certified by Maryland Department of Transportation. That is the only entity that we are allowed to utilize to fulfill that subcontract goal. If you are an out-of-state vendor and you want to participate in the MBE or WBE or DBE goal, you must first be certified in your home state, and then you must be certified by Maryland in order to participate in the county's DBE program, and as well as the MBE program. So you must first be certified by your home state. And then when we award the contract, we are responsible for tracking that the sub has been utilized, as well as the sub is being paid for the services that they have been contracted to do. So we use a software called Prism where we track compliance. If you are on a Baltimore County contract, you will receive notification through the Prism system that tells us, they may tell you that you were awarded, a contract with Prime ABC, and Prime has said that they paid you $100, and you will receive an email asking you to accept or reject that payment amount. If you reject that payment amount, it sends a notice to the compliance officer on my team, and then we begin the investigation process to see what the issue is. Was it a invalid amount? Did you actually not receive the payment? So that's how the investigation begins using the PRISM tool and your response. So if you're on a current contract with Baltimore County and you do receive an email from PRISM, please respond to that email. We won't know that you didn't get paid if you don't tell us. Okay, Bob also mentioned the pre-bid pre-proposal conference. If you're not familiar with what that is, the pre-bid pre-proposal conference, and if you've never attended one, I suggest that you do, whether it's a solicitation in your area of expertise or not, because in a pre-bid pre-proposal conference, that's where the buyer goes over the solicitation that's been advertised. That's where questions and answers are conducted in person or virtual. That's where you would meet the buyer. I know a lot of times you want to know who the buyer is. You want to know, put the face to the name. So that's where you would actually meet the buyer in a pre-proposal, pre-bid conference. You could also meet potential business partners. I have seen circumstances where a prime or a sub has potential MBE or DBE sub, WBE sub, has identified themselves as such in that meeting. And the primes actually exchange business cards or they exchange contact information so that they can talk to you in the future. So that's pre-bid, pre-proposal conference is another form of outreach. So take advantage of that and market yourself in that conference. Okay, you can sign up for email notifications to do business with Baltimore County at the same website, baltimorecountymd.gov/purchasing. Also on that site, not only can you sign up for email notification, you will get access to where the current solicitations are located, that email and marketplace has sent you to. You can also see the list of the contract forecast so you can prepare for upcoming procurement. And I just made note that the solicitation notices go out weekly. You cannot select which industries that you want to be notified of. Therefore, we only send the email out once a week, so you're not inundated with a lot of emails. However, we do also advertise on email and marketplace. So if you're there on email and marketplace, which is the state online procurement tool, you can on email and marketplace designate which areas you want to be notified of. And when the county uses those codes on email and marketplace, then you would be limiting, your categories to those specific industries, but not with our email blast. I recommend that you do both though. I recommend that you register with the county as well as register on email and marketplace, because there may be a delay with email and marketplace because we're required to do it on our county website first. And with this page, as I mentioned previously, we are not Baltimore County Public Schools. We are not Baltimore County Libraries. We are not the Community College of Baltimore. And I did not mention the Revenue Authority, which is responsible for the parking garages and the golf courses. So these are other offices that are Baltimore County offices that have their own purchase authority in the county. So you want to reach out to them. You already heard from Bob, but you want to reach out to them directly to find out what it is you need to do business with these offices. If you have general questions for purchasing, here's their contact information on the PowerPoint presentation on the left-hand side. And if you have general questions for my office and my staff, that's my office's contact information. That's our help desk. If you need help with the PRISM tool, if you need help trying to identify who the appropriate buyer is, feel free to call us. We are happy to help. And I also have a Twitter account that is not as active as I would like it to be, but I do try to post contracting opportunities or business resource information on that Twitter account. So if you follow us on Twitter, it's @BacoBizForAll. And with that, I'm going to stop my presentation. And if you have any questions, you're feel free to do so.
Thank you, Carla. That was great information. So yes, now's a chance for you to ask Carla your questions. So we have one that's come in. It says, if you are a new company, what opportunities for award are available? Some past performance requirements are over 5 years old.
So so anyone can bid on a county contract. Let me first say that. So what you want to first do is read the solicitation, look at the qualifications that are asked for in the solicitation, and then respond accordingly. And it's by contract, so I can't give you a definitive answer because it's going to be based on the type of work that you do. If it's water and sewer or infrastructure, then you must be pre-qualified with Baltimore County Department of Public Works. So I would recommend that you not wait for that opportunity to hit the street, that you actually apply for that pre-qualification today when we hang up this phone. And so that you are prepared when that solicitation actually hit the street. Did I answer that question or do we need to clarify?
I don't see a follow-up, so I think that might be okay. Next question is there a program to get pre-approved for IT contracts?
So in Baltimore County actually has one solicitation that they advertise for IT, and it covers the various functional areas of IT. It's called the Information Technology Consulting and Technical Services Contract. I can't recall the actual expiration date, but if you go to that baltimorecounty.md.gov /purchasing, pull up the current master agreement listing, locate that actual solicitation on the description on that list, and look at the expiration date of that of the final renewal. Because it covers, I think, 19 functional areas of IT. So that's really the major solicitation to do business with Baltimore County. I do know that particular solicitation also includes supplemental staffing. So where our IT department may not have enough people on staff, they will actually use that contract to identify staff that could help the county meet its resource needs internally. So that's another area. And again, that contract, I think, is either a 7 or a 10-year term. And if I'm not mistaken, it may have been awarded in 2017, but please check that current master agreement listing. Feel free to reach out to those prime contractors that have the contract today and see if there's any subcontracting opportunities. There's nothing prohibiting you from doing that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Carla. We may have some more Q&A at the very end, but that's all we have for now, so I do appreciate it. And so we'll go on to our final speaker of the day, and that's Craig Panos, who is the business consultant at Maryland SBDC. Craig, if you could go ahead and share your slides, please. That looks great. Thank you.
Hello, Yasmin, and hello, attendees. My name is Craig Panos, and I'm a business consultant with the Maryland Small Business Development Center, also known as the SBDC, the acronym. And the Small Business Development Center, we are a network of consultants throughout the state of Maryland, and actually throughout the United States. There's a center in each state, and within Maryland, there are centers covering each county in Maryland. We are funded by the Small Business Administration and various universities around the state. So you do not pay for our services, our consulting services. And the key takeaway about the Small Business Development Center is we are here to help you, the business owner, overcome whatever challenges, pretty much whatever challenges you face as a business. For example, last year in the pandemic, we worked day and night to help business owners throughout the state of Maryland survive and overcome the various challenges. We helped businesses raise over $130 million from various funding sources to help them survive and continue their businesses. So we are a resource that's here for you in each phase of your business life, getting started, starting up, planning for your business, growing. We can work with you on growth strategies. And we're here today because we can also help you with preparing for government contracting and various certifications that are involved with that. And all the way through becoming a mature business and even your exit from the business. So we are here for the entire business life cycle, and We enjoy working with businesses in each industry throughout the state of Maryland. All right, we can get this to go down. There we go. Okay, so we've been doing this. The Small Business Development Center has been around since 1988. So in the 34 years, we developed some pretty reliable ways to assist businesses with a vast variety of problems. And our approach is three-phase. We have training, we offer training classes, we offer one-on-one consulting with business owners face-to-face, and then we offer technical assistance to support the work that you're trying to do. So training, we break that out into core topics. So the core topics are, for the most part, a Ready, Set, Go program for businesses that are just planning out and getting started. That's followed by a Smart Start Your Business workshop, where we bring in some key resources to speak on topics that are important towards starting a business. We bring in a lawyer, an accountant, a banker, and an insurance agent, and they come in and advise the group on how to correctly form your business and get it started efficiently, so you're not thrashing around, looking at different places for these resources. It's all in one place. The next core topic is how to write a business plan, and we can guide you through the steps. Business plans are a very effective tool in ensuring that your business is off to a successful start and continues to be on a growth track once it's open. We also have the marketing plan workshop. Then, because times are changing and the needs of businesses are changing, we have specialty topic workshops, and I'll just mention some of them that are on this month's schedule, where you can go to our website and click on the training calendar and enroll in these special topic workshops. And ever since the beginning of the pandemic, these have also been no cost. So we dropped the charges even up to this point. So you can learn about things like how to make your business your small business more user-friendly, how to minimize risk in starting a business. The next big thing in digital marketing, the social mirror. And I think I'll be attending that one. That's really a very new topic. Employee benefits, health savings accounts, health reimbursement accounts, and so forth, if you want to offer those services to your employees. And even later today, there's a great session on get new customer leads online fast. So in recognition of people are shopping online for pretty much everything these days, including the services and goods that your business will provide, it's important to have a social marketing component to your marketing strategy. And another topic that will be coming up soon is, will TikTok work for marketing my business? That's very topical. And another one is Canva, a free digital marketing and design platform. So there are lots of very good, relevant, and up-to-date topics that we offer training for, and they're given by experts and specialists, so they're very good. And these trainings are now delivered virtually over Zoom and WebEx. And as we said, they are free of charge at this point. And as far as our consulting goes, we can start with helping you assess where you are, where your business has been in the past, where it is today, and where you want it to be in the future, 1, 2, 5, 10 years from now. So we can help you take a look at that, and we can help you work on a business plan and a marketing plan. So the business plan has really two main purposes. One is to help you and your management team work efficiently and together to get the business on track and get it on a successful growth path. The marketing plan, I work with over 100 businesses every year in my role, and the main problem that we see businesses facing is we don't have enough customers. So it's important to have a marketing plan and actually backstop that with a sales plan, a sales process to actually acquire customers once they have found out about your business due to your marketing plan. And then technical assistance, loan packaging. We can help you, figure out where to go for financing. Okay, it seldom makes sense for you to just walk into a bank branch and fill out an application and throw that on the branch manager's desk. They're not commercial loan officers. We have a network of commercial lenders in most of the leading and even some of the smaller lenders throughout the state, and not just banks. There are some non-banking sources of funding that are very key, very vital, and very important to emerging small and medium-sized businesses of all industries. There have been some grant opportunities popping up, not a lot, but we can help you identify where to look for those opportunities as well. And we can help you apply for the 8A certification and other federal certifications. We're going to be going into that in a minute or two. And also the state certifications that Bob and Carla mentioned, the MDOT, the MBE, DBA applications. So many people ask, well, why am I applying for a minority business enterprise certification with the Department of Transportation? Well, here in Maryland, years ago, the only department that cared about minority participation goals and contracts was the Department of Transportation, while they were working on the federal interstate highway system. So as time went on and more agencies became concerned about minority and women participation goals on contracts, they figured out, well, we already have the certification in place at the Department of Transportation, we'll just leave it there. So even to this day, you apply for minority business certification to work with any agency in the state through the Maryland Department of Transportation. They've got good webinars, good classes, and very clear instructions on how to proceed with those certifications. Government procurement, well, that's kind of what we're here to talk about today, and it's a very important topic. As we know, for example, the United States government is the largest purchaser of fill in the blank of anybody in the world, okay? They spend tremendous amounts of money. You know this, we know this, but also your competitors know this. So yes, we want to get registered to do business with the government, but we also want to develop a strategy on how to approach government agencies to be considered and to win awards. We also help with marketing research, very important topic these days, like we mentioned. A lot of that is done online these days, but we want to have a marketing plan so that you're using your marketing dollars efficiently and your time very efficiently, because as a business owner, probably your shortest resources are time and money. And we'll take a look at your business plan, once it's developed, and help you tune that up. So we want to, the Maryland Small Business Development Center, we are a network, as we said, of former business owners ourselves, executives, senior management personnel. So we're in this role of consultant because we understand the challenges that businesses in all stages of development are facing, whether you're just starting out, still in the planning stages, or if you're in a growth mode, expansion mode, and face challenges, we're here to serve you. Our website, as you can see on the right there, is www.marylandsbdc.org. And you can find out about the upcoming training classes and connect with a consultant in your county. I noticed that there were a number of people on this call who are from Anne Arundel County, Prince George's County, and other areas besides the Baltimore area. And we do have expert consultants in your counties as well to help you get on the growth path, and even to help with your government-based consultant or based contracting. Here's a little bit about me, and my experience over the years has included selling to the government. And one of the key takeaways there is that if you're just getting going, just starting out, it is often, very often, the best strategy would be to find someone who's already selling to the government, a prime contractor, and become a subcontractor to them. There's few things more disappointing than working 3 or 4 weeks to respond, submit a proposal for an RFP to the state, federal, or local government and not get the work. You took 3 weeks out of your life, away from your business, and you came in second place. Well, that's not where you want to be as a small business. Why not work with a large organization that has a room full of people that all they do is submit proposals and become a subcontractor to them? Maybe they do the same work that you do and they need additional staff, or maybe they do something very close to what you do and don't have your capability and then want to acquire that capability through you. So we are here throughout the state, here in the Baltimore area. Aldo is bilingual, he speaks Spanish, and if any of you have a first language, have Spanish as your first language, Aldo can help you with the SBDC services. I'm also here in Baltimore County. In Baltimore City, Gabe Maru and Bill Freeman have the city well covered. They have centers in Morgan State University and the University of Maryland at Baltimore downtown. As we said, if you're in other counties, we have centers there as well. So we are about free consulting services, training, and events. We hold events. We have a very effective women's business conference coming up later in the spring. And please take a look at that. Go to our website, again, marylandsbdc.org, and you can find out about the women's business event coming up and all the other events that our center is putting on. Local resource partners. Okay, as a business owner, we realize that can get lonely. So we do have resources. We have attorneys, we have accountants, we have social media marketing specialists that we can help line up with conferences with you to get some information on their specialty areas to help you grow your business. Our website also has success stories, and it discusses special programs that we have for special needs organizations. Okay, so let's get into the government contracting real fast. Okay, the first place to start, well, you really want, the goal here, if you want to sell things to the United States government, is to get registered in the SAM, System for Award Management. And the first stop with that is to identify the NAICS, NAICS code for your business, North American Industry Classification System code. So this is a number, a 6-digit number that's assigned to each type of business that is out there. For example, if you're an IT services company, rather than have the government's computer try to figure out what you do by using words, IT contractor, website developer, systems engineer, they have it reduced to a 6-digit code. So for an IT services company, you would be 451511. If you're a hair salon, you would be an 812112. If you're a trucking company, you would be a 484121. This is a good place for you to start your registration with SAM, is to identify one or more NAICS codes that apply to your business. And up until now, the System for Awards Management, the SAM, relied on you to have a DUNS number. That's a number assigned from the Dun & Bradstreet Corporation in order to form the basis for your SAM registration. Well, starting next month in April, the SAM is going to retire the requirement to have a DUNS number, and the Small Business Administration will issue you a unique identification number, and that will be the basis for your SAM application. So if you're going to be applying for SAM this month, you still need to get a DUNS number, but at some point next month, the transition will be made over to the unique identification number supplied by the Small Business Administration. Okay, there are federal certifications. And here's a brief list of them. The woman-owned small business certification, the economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business certification. Okay, and economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business is automatically a woman-owned small business registration. The difference is if the business is more than 50% owned by one or more women, and each woman's net worth, that means their total assets in life, is under $750,000, that woman is presumed to be economically disadvantaged. And that $750,000 excludes the value of your principal residence. It excludes the value of the equity in your business. And retirement plans are treated in a special way that needs a little more probing in depth. Veteran-owned small businesses and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses are some additional certifications. And these are valuable when doing contracting, particularly to the Veterans Administration. The 8A program is for economically and socially disadvantaged small businesses. So if you are a member of a minority group, you're pretty much presumed to have experienced social disadvantage in your career and in your personal life. So the 8A certification is a commitment. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to do it. And we here at the Small Business Development Center are equipped to help you, guide you through the application process, because there are just some things to know about how to submit that application. And we work closely with Yasmin's organization, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, PTAC. We work hand in hand. We tend to work on businesses until they get some federal contracting experience, and then the PTAC takes over and helps you grow on from there. There's also a hub zone certification, which is if your business is located in a historically underutilized business zone. And there is a hub zone map on the hub zone website where you can determine if your business is located in one of these hub zones. For example, pretty much most of the city of Baltimore is in a hub zone because these are areas that are seen to be lagging behind economically from the average parts districts in the state. So if your principal place of business is located in a hub zone and at least 35% of your employees live in a hub zone, then you may apply for the hub zone certification for your business, which has certain preferences in contracting and in pricing. So, and it's not terribly hard to apply for. So we can also help guide you through that. Then over here on the right, apply. So this is the website for certify.gov. This has the information on the 8A application and the instructions. And next, their /prepare website, it gives you checklists of information for applying for the 8A certification, the woman-owned small business and the economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, and the hub zone certification. And under programs for veterans, if the business is more than 50% owned by a veteran, service-disabled veteran, and in some cases, the spouse of veteran who may be on active duty, there are lots of resources through the OSBDU. Lots of people try to pronounce that, OSBDU, but basically that's the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization. Every agency in the US government has an OSBDU. Here's the website for the Veterans Administration, which can lead you to the Vets First verification program. That's really the first step in verifying that you're an eligible veteran in order to proceed with the other benefits offered by the Veterans Administration. And then this second help website is assistance for applying for that Veterans First verification program. So these will be on the slide presentation if you request that from Yasmin. There are also, as Carla and Bob mentioned before, there are State of Maryland certifications. I see we're bumping up against our time here. Yasmin, what should I do? I have about 5 more minutes.
Oh, you could go ahead and finish.
Okay, because we have some interesting things, so still your time back. Okay, we talked about the Maryland Department of Transportation. They have the minority business enterprise, the disadvantaged business enterprise, and the small business enterprise. These are different certifications that you apply for on the MDOT Department of Transportation website, which is over here on the right. We'll talk about that in a second. And veterans, business owners, there is a special program in Maryland, the Veteran-Owned Small Business Enterprise Program. Here's the web link to that. So over here on the right, we have the instructions and the forms for applying for the various certifications, the MBE, DBE, SBE, and even the airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise certification. You need to sell things at an airport concession. And down here in the help section, this is the assistance for, this is the MDOT Home. So this is where you go to find out about all of the various state certification programs. And the minority business enterprise is recognized by the state of Maryland, and it is recognized by each of the 23 counties. However, Baltimore City and several of the larger counties do have their own minority certification process. But once you pass the hurdle of getting past the MBE program, those county certifications are generally not hard to do. You've already got the documents, required documents in place. But the MBE does take some time. It takes about 6 months to acquire that certification because they review it carefully. They want to make sure that the minority person runs the business. They will even come out to your place of business to verify that the minority owner of the business does control the business. You write the checks, you sign the contracts, you know about the skill set to deploy your workers. They don't care if your place of business is in your garage or your cellar or in a closet. They don't care where it is. They just want to make sure that the person claiming minority status controls the business. That's all they care about. So give yourself some lead time because it takes a while to get through that certification process. Okay, when you're selling to the government, you want to have a capability statement. Here's a website that has a great guide for creating a capability statement. You know, a business card is great. So if you go and meet someone and hand them a business card, yeah, they've got your name and your email address, but they didn't really grasp what your business does. So the capability statement is kind of a standard set of information that you leave behind at meetings or you post it online for other potential customers to see. And it talks about who you are, your contact information, what industries, there's your NAICS code again, what industries you work in, some of your past performance, and a little bit of marketing about how you do it better and best. So it's really pretty much a requirement. If you're selling to the government, everybody's going to want to see your capability statement, whether you're meeting with a prime contractor to try to be their subcontractor, or if you're meeting with an agency representative themselves. So here are resources for that the state of Maryland has provided. The first one here is great. It's resources to help win contracts at the federal, state, and local level. Very good. Then here is the GOAT. This is the best guide because it's comprehensive. It talks about how to make contacts at different agencies with the U.S. government, the state, and even some county resources, how to approach them, and even how to price your products and your services, and then how to compete for awards. So this is a very valuable guide. And then lastly, there are some do's and don'ts of contracting with the government. So this is a very valuable piece of additional information. So I think we're up against our time here, but we certainly want you to be aware of how to get a hold of our center, the Small Business Development Center. We work together with Yasmin's Procurement Technical Assistance Center in helping you become successful at your government contracting efforts. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Yasmin.
Thank you so much, Craig. That was very helpful. And I know we went slightly over time, but I think it was worth it to get some great information. Just one question, if you could answer Is there a minimum qualifying reason to be counselled by SBDC, or can anybody be counselled by SBDC?
Oh my goodness, Yasmin, anyone. Even if you're thinking and considering and about starting or doing something, we want to talk to you, because you can waste a lot of time and money if you start and get off on the wrong foot and thrash around and don't do things efficiently. We want your focus to be on your business, not how to register with the state, or register your business, or the basic blocking and tackling of a business. We want to help you, from the beginning.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great news to hear. So you heard that. If you are starting out in business or just need general business advice, go to SBDC. And as Craig says, we kind of see them as our sister organization. So they help you get set up, get started. And then when you are ready to go into government contracting, you can come over to the PTAC and we will take it from there. So I'm afraid that's all we have time for. So I'd like to thank our panelists, Carla, Bob, and Craig, so much for taking time to do this. And we rely so heavily on your support for small business success in the state. So we appreciate it. And thank you again to the audience for your great questions. Thanks, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you again in a future event. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Yasmin. Bye.